Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rob from Bee Barn. I'm going to inspect my top bar hive today. And there's lots of videos out here of people showing bees in their hives, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to go through here, kind of step by step, and explain what the beekeeper is looking for, what the bees are doing, and I'm going to try not to edit this, or to edit this minimally, so you can kind of see the flow of the hive. The first thing we do when we're going up to the hive, take a look at the overall condition, make sure it's not falling apart. If you want to come up here real quick. And we want to make sure that there's no signs of predation. There's no scratches or anything along the front, which is where raccoons and skunks like to hang out and try to grab the guard bees at night. Of course, as we're doing this, I'm going to blow some smoke in here. And now I'm smoking the top, not because there's bees up here, but I'm trying to chase any spiders or anything that might happen to be in the top of the hive. As a matter of fact, this is exactly why I smoked it. If you can see all this, see here, you can cut through that thing. All the daddy longlegs had made a home under here. See if we can chase them away. Alright, come on. Come on. Alright. Now, let's see. I have these marked. I know my back, my false back is right here, so there's nothing back here as far as bees go. So we're going to get rid of these. I'm going to grab one. Just make myself some room here. Okay. Now, in this particular top bar, and all the others that I've done, the bees, this tends to be long-term storage in the very back. And then they have their brood chamber. This very front right here is going to be more like a pantry. This is where they're going to store their pollen and such. Right, so here we go. We're going to pull this backboard out. Very hot North Florida. Alright, now that I'm done out here, I'm going to go out. I gave them some extra room. The tone changes right here. So this is about where I'm going to find where my bees are working. See all the, you want to cut up here, all this right here is actually their propolis that they've used to seal. This is the propolis, and what they do is they seal their hive with that. Now let's take a look. Now, that's what I'm afraid of. This hive tends to collect hive beetles because there's no traps or anything in it. So we spend a little bit of time in the back. The bees are really good about keeping them chased off wherever they happen to be active, but in the very back, the last few frames, or few bars rather, they tend to have quite a few of them. Now what I'm doing, this should be long-term stores, and we've had a very odd year as far as weather goes. Let's see. The bees will finally start to get to where the bees are at. And there's nothing in here, so I already know I'm going to have to feed these bees in order to get them beefed up for winter. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to go through these one by one and see if I can find any deformed wings or crush a few extra beetles. If you have a top bar hive, that will probably be one of your beekeeping pastimes, is crushing beetles. Now, this is one of the really neat oddities of a top bar hive. Because the bees are built off from this, there's no foundation here, and they can build this however they want to. And if you look, these here are where they will generally store honey, and these are also drone cells right here in this corner. And then over here you notice the smaller cells. This is where the queen will lay the majority of the workers. And actually when they start out, they'll start off as two little teardrops, and then they join them together. And they create this one with the multiple sizes of comb on it.
And the comb on here, the hive is approximately 3.5 years old?
No, because I keep it rotated out. This hive is about 3.5 years old, but this comb is probably only 2.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. Let me try to get the sun. Come on, now, we're finally getting, you see some moisture right here. This is the nectar that they're bringing in. This time of year, they should be actually further back than where they should be drawing new top bars out, but they're not because the weather has been so odd this year. But if you look, and you can actually see it better, let me get it turned around. On this side where there's no bees, there's actually, this is nectar drying. This will be honey probably in a few more weeks. I just saw that. A little bit of bee diversity. See how black this bee is right here? How black she is. Just it's different genetics from where the queen had mated with different drones. Now when this propolis gets too heavy, when I clean these, I will take these last few as they winter if they're empty. And when we take those, we clean these bars off real good. This one's full of honey as well. Yep. Get over here. You see it. I'm not sure how much of the moisture is going to show up. I'm not liking how many beetles I see in here. I'm going to have to spend a day out here when I don't have a little bit more time and bring out my beetle crusher. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright. I said about halfway up, a little bit off the this cap, these, notice how they're a little bit dark. This is actually brood, and I don't know how well you're going to see it in there, but the white specks in there, in them holes in between, are actually baby bees. They're growing up, and they pupate kind of like a butterfly does, but they don't spin a cocoon. They actually do it inside the cell. And 5 days after they close it up, a baby bee emerges. So I know I've got a queen. This is older brood in here. So I know I had a queen at least a week ago. And now we've got to kind of dig in here and try to find, see if we can find Your Majesty. If that's the case, then we know all is well. And we can put everything back together. Let's see here. Let me zip through here real quick. Now this is actually a sign of a good queen. When we talk about brood pattern, there's very little except for where the bees have backfilled it here, and that's because these are hatching out and they're just now pulling pollen in. But it's very solid out here. There's a whole wall. What's not covered is white, as right here, and this will be covered shortly. So that means that I know I have a good queen in here. And now what I want to find is either find my queen or find some, at the very least, find some eggs so I know that she's in here as early as possible, that, you know, she's in here currently. Until it's been a while since I've inspected this hive. More of our beetle traps because of all the propolis buildup. Alright, so as I'm looking through here, I still see a lot more older brood. Don't swipe like that, you'll get them.
It was just, yeah. Reflex.
I put my hand on it. Alright, let me leave. Alright, here's another interesting thing. This is kind of odd for this late in year, but not too bad. And with this weather, I'm not sure, but you can look and see how these are covered, how these are round. And they're also where there's larger, hello, miss, in the larger hole. This little group right here is actually drones. Those will be male bees when they hatch. I still don't see eggs. I'm starting to get a little concerned because I'm getting further up my up the hive here. There we go. Now I know. I saw some eggs on the other one. I know they're not going to show up on the camera. But if you actually look, you see her?
Yeah, with the white dot.
There is Her Majesty right there, looking big, fat, and comfortable. So we know all is well, that they're just a little bit light on honey. And as soon as I end this video, I'm going to throw a feeder out for them, and everything's going to be a lot better. Now, I've been watching them over the last 2 days. I know there's not any pollen up here because they're not bringing any in. So there's not really, I haven't found eggs, I found the queen. There's not any need to go any further with this hive. Unfortunately, because of the weather, we're probably not going to get any honey out of it this year. But the bees are healthy, and I would expect them fully to make it through till next year.
So you could possibly graft a queen out of this
Oh yeah.
hive and start another top bar.
Actually, what we'll do is we'll take the queen and we'll set these bars, because I standardize all of my hives. All my hives are the same size, so I can actually take bars out of here and place them in another top bar hive, much the same way you would a lang. And that's how I'll start the hive, is I'll take the queen and I'll transfer her in a few bars of workers, and they'll start over, and then they'll leave the bulk of the resources over here for them to make a brand new queen. And these top bars are actually, I forget if it's 18 and a half or 19 and a half, but they're long enough, they'll actually fit inside of a lang frame too. And I've actually used these to jump start my langs, because a lang can be a little bit more temperamental at times than a top bar hive. If I was working langs today, I would not be out here in shorts with a beehive during the height of robbing season. Another good reason to have them, have the top bars. And I say it's the middle of robbing season. These bees should be very active and defensive, and I'm out here in shorts. So that's it. That's the inspection. All we have to do is put it back together, and I'll pull the feeder out. And feel free to leave any questions or comments down in the bottom of the comment box.